We will call the school board special session to order. It's July the 21st, 2022. I would like to welcome each of you to tonight's special session. We will be going over personnel changes and the presentation of the superintendent's proposed budget for the upcoming year. Again, welcome to everyone. At this time, we will look at 2.1, the personnel changes. Mr. Killingsworth.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank y'all for allowing me to come to you with some changes. This evening we have one recommendation for administration. Then we have some instructional positions. We may have to, or we probably need to do one of those, kind of like we did last time, if that's okay with you. And then we have three that are on the non-instructional side, and unfortunately one that will be leaving us.
Okay, what we'll do is vote for everyone. Initially, we will vote for everyone except Madeline Gurley, where Ms. Williamson can vote, and then for Madeline Gurley, everyone else will vote but Ms. Williamson. And we will, if you could make the recommendation for instructional and non-instructional when you make it, please. Is there a motion to approve the administrative, instructional, and non-instructional recommendations?
I'll make the motion to approve the administration, the non-instructional and the instructional recommendations except Maddie Gurley.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Williamson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. All those, any discussion?
I've got a question about the bridge administrator. Is this a new position?
That is on the staffing table that was done earlier.
No, we had it last year. It was.
But was she a principal last
She
year?
was. Yeah, she was considered as the. I mean, yeah.
Getting principals?
Yeah, she was considered as
Okay.
that.
She was an administrator / lead teacher.
Okay. Is that what this is going to be about too?
No, ma'am, this position deals administration as well as CTE governors between that, the high school, and James Madison.
So he's
as
going
well.
to be affiliated with Madison County High School then too? Well, I know it's all one now. I mean,
Correct.
it's part of the high school.
Both the high schools.
Okay.
His main place that he'll be at is going to be the bridge.
Right.
However, he will also be over the CT programs, reporting, all that for the
All of
high
them.
school and
Okay.
for James Madison.
Okay, I was wondering if it was what actually it entailed, the whole, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion or questions, Ms. Gibson?
No, I think that was my question.
Okay. All those in favor, show of hand, please. 4-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of the administrative, instructional, and non-instructional, excluding Madeline Gurley. At this time, is there a motion to approve Madeline Gurley for an instructional position at Lee Elementary School for the 2022-23 school year?
Mr. Chairman, I think that I have to say why I'm excusing myself from this vote, that Madeline Gurley is my granddaughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve Madeline Gurley?
I move to approve Madeline Gurley.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Mr. Carroll. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Gibson. Any discussion? There's no discussion. All those in favor, show of hand, please. 3-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of Madeline Gurley for teacher at Lee Elementary School for the 2022-23 school year. Okay, I think that is all. And we have
Band camp and substitute bus drivers and monitors.
okay.
Please, sir.
Okay, You will see the approved volunteers for band camp: Daniel Sloan, Victoria Carroll, Brandon Allen. Approved substitute bus drivers, monitors: Deborah Simmons, Carnez Barfield, Ada Bellamy, Tari Florence, Shadrick Johnson, Michelle Thomas, Oprah Baynard, Gwen Dobson, Andrea Solomon, and Jennifer Wheeler. Is there a motion to approve the volunteers for band camp and the substitute bus drivers, monitors?
I move to approve the volunteers for band camp, as well as approve the substitute bus drivers / monitors.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Gibson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Williamson. Any discussion? If there's none, all those in favor, show of hand, please. 4-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of the volunteers for band camp and the substitute bus drivers and monitors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we will have the presentation of the superintendent's proposed budget for the next year. Ms. Rainick?
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're here tonight to talk about the proposed budget, and I believe you have copies of that budget. We just got our figures Tuesday afternoon, very late. We were here all day yesterday pulling this together. So I want to also tell you that if you are interested in getting an updated PowerPoint from last year, the same PowerPoint I gave you about trim, just to understand some of the facets of it, I do have one. So I can submit that if you'd like that at a later time. The proposed budget we have, if you will look at it, you are looking at 4 different buckets of funding, just like you would in the financial report. You're looking at the general fund, the special revenue fund, the debt service fund, and the capital project funds. This year, our state law rate that the Department of Education says we need to collect is 3.206. Now, that rate is down from last year, but it still generates more money because of the amount of property value that we have, the taxable property value. The taxable property value in Madison County went up almost $162 million.
Wow.
It went from about $868 million to $1.03 billion in 1 year, so you are seeing a huge jump in that. So even though the millage rate, the state millage rate is going down, it's still going to generate more funding. If you want to walk through each of the buckets, you will see on the total revenues, we have about $20 million, which is about $1 million more than we had from last year, and most of that is the FTE money that we're getting, the additional $200 plus for our FTE this year. The next revenue line would be in the special revenue budgets, and that is where you're going to see the big increase in this budget over last year, because that's where the new American Rescue Plan dollars are. And that's $12,800,000 approximately, most of that being the federal stimulus dollars. And that's up about $7 million from last year, because we got about $10 million in the ARP funding late in the year last year. The next fund revenue is debt service. That's pretty much going to stay pretty flat. It's around $10,000 less than what it was last year, at about $275,000. And that's the money that we use to pay off the debt that we have for the $1,190,000 QCSB, forgot the acronym, but the bond that we have that paid for the high school's renovations. Then the next pot of revenue that you're going to look at is capital project funds. This is your 1.5 capital outlay that we'll talk about. We have to advertise as well. And that's at just over $2 million. That's up about $450,000 from last year. The overall of total revenue sources, again, for all the funds, is $35,275. That is up about 9 million, and if you back up, you're gonna see that most of that money is in your federal ESSER money, your ARP money. Then we're gonna drop down to the total appropriations. In general fund, while we have 20 million in revenue coming in, we're expecting to spend even more than that in expenses. We're expecting to be at least $200,000 more in expenses than we have in revenue at 20,429,000. Remember, a budget is strictly based on the information we have at this point in time. We have to wait and see how the $15 an hour will actually impact us. But right now, it's looking close to about the same with 20 million in and about 20 million out. You look at the special revenue funds, again, that's pretty much a wash as far as the money's coming in. We don't really get a fund balance on that of much. Part of that money that's in there is food service. Special revenue is all of the 4,000 funds. All the title funds, all of the food service funds, and all of these care grants. We have about 12,800,000 coming in, and we've got about 12,900,000 going out. Again, estimating where we are, we do think that the food service fund is going to have some issues this year, so we're trying to be proactive and work on how we can address those issues before they get started. It's not anything with the fund, it's with the fact that the revenues are not coming in like they used to, and we're trying to find out why, and most of it's COVID related. The next fund we have is the debt service fund. That's where we're paying off that bond. It's about $270 million, $274,000 coming in and about $252,000 going out. The next fund is the capital outlay. That's your 1.5% of taxes. You've got $2 million coming in, and you've got about $2,200,000 going out. So the total of your expenditures is $35,727,000. Again, up about $9 million from last year, which is because of the ESSER and the ARP funding. If you will also look at the bottom line is the total. It's actually taking the revenues, subtracting the expenses, and then adding any fund balance in. Your general fund is at $24,200,000. Your special revenue is at $11,900,000. Your debt service is at about $415,000. And your capital project funds are $4.3 million, with a total of about $41.9 million operating budget for the school year 22-23, based on 3.2 required state mills, plus your discretionary 0.748, plus your 1.5 capital outlay, which is a total millage, total state and local millage of 5.454%. Are there any questions? It's a lot of information. The budget is very much in line with the increase in the taxable value that happened to the properties. We are doing some kind of a longitudinal look at how this has been looking for the last 3 years, but the ESSER, the stimulus funds, are going to be throwing that longitudinal look off quite a bit. But we are looking at that as well. If there's no questions, I would ask that the proposed budget summary for Madison County School District for the 22-23 school year be accepted by the board.
Okay, are there any questions?
No,
Comments?
I'd like in the future a hard copy of this, if we could have one. I like to make notes on it, in other words, and it's just,
Sure.
it's just easier to read and everything if you have it on hard copy. Thank you.
Any other comments? Questions, concerns?
What was the millage? It was 3.8 something last year, wasn't it?
The mills that we collected last year, the state millage
State
was
mill.
3.592, and this year it's 3.206. So it's down, but because of the impact of the value of the property, it's still about it's like 0.97% increase for that much money that millage to
Right.
generate that much money.
So in turn, people's taxes are, they're gonna see increases in their bills.
Right.
But
Yes.
it's playing
Not
along
because of
with
millage.
property value going
Absolutely.
up.
Because their
Yeah.
value, their property is worth more.
So many houses have sold as of late for several $100,000 more of what maybe they're valued at, and that's what's driven this.
And you said the state sets that, right?
The state sets that millage rate. The discretionary millage rate every district gets, which is .748. Every district gets that for operating millage. And then there's capital outlay, which helps us repair and replace and upgrade our buildings, and that's 1.5. Those are state level values. That's part of the local rate, because we've had approval to do those rates.
Right,
But the state sets at 3.206.
I got you.
When they came out with their first conference report, it was 3.543. And then yesterday, when we got the news, they had dropped it down to 3.206. Overall, it's going to be about a 5.5% increase in taxes.
But again, this is nothing that we've like increased
Right,
millage or.
right.
It's with the formula and just based upon what the sales have been
Right,
locally.
Every district is required to give a certain amount of their taxes to pay for education.
right.
This is going to generate about, remember, we only collect about 96% of it, so it's going to generate around $3.1 million in revenue. But we have to collect that, or we will not get $16.2 million in state education FEFP funds.
Right.
So they expect us to at least support that much of it with our local taxes in order to get the big amount.
Okay, is there any more questions? Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's proposed budget for the 2022-2023 school year?
I move to approve the proposed superintendent's budget for the Madison County School District 2022 to 2023 fiscal year.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Gibson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Williamson. Any discussion concerning it? Okay, if not, all those in favor, show of hand, please. 4-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of the proposed 2022-2023 school budget for the Madison County School District.
And thank you. And we'd also like to have permission to intent to advertise. We must advertise the proposed tax increase. We must advertise what kinds of things we are planning on using our capital outlay for, and we must post a tentative budget in the newspaper. There are specific requirements, order page, certain font types, that kind of thing. We would ask that you give us permission to advertise this so that when we can have our public meeting August 1st.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the advertisement of the proposed budget?
I move to advertise the proposed budget.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Mr. Carroll. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor of the proposing the advertised budget, show of hand, please. 4-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of advertising the proposed budget.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, if there's no other business of the board, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Williamson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. All those in favor? 4-0, Ms. Bishop, to adjourn.